Hello.
Hi, good to see you.
Good to see you too. I wanted to start by just saying that I did do a deep dive on your Instagram before this.
Oh,
Not that
wow.
not that deep dives are new for you. Um, but I was trying to find the first time you guys played 97X Next Big Thing was in 2012. And I found a
Yeah.
picture you took that morning or evening of like the sunset in Vinoy Park in St. Pete. And
Yeah.
it just said like playing two cities in Florida this week. I remember when I was just excited to play in my hometown or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking like from that moment, did you ever imagine like 21 Pilots to be the scale you guys are on now?
I mean, the real answer is yes. I think that, but I mean, yes and no. I think we had pretty big dreams and goals. I will say, I remember those festivals, and those were some of the first, festivals. Those, I think at that point, that was like the furthest away from home that we had gone and played a festival at least. So those were really awesome shows, and especially to be on a radio show. It was just like, what are we doing? What is this? This is like a brand new kind of thing to us.
Well, you guys felt like a brand new thing to us because you were the opening band that day, the first band on stage at like 11, but the crowd for you guys was like unlike anything we've ever seen. It was crazy.
Um, yeah, it's cool to, I think, have been able to kind of like start out in clubs, work our way to theaters, maybe then like a ballroom, and then up to arenas. I feel like there are some artists who stay in clubs their whole career, or maybe work their way up to theaters. They're there the whole career. And some artists kind of skip from clubs to arenas because something happens to where they just sort of take off. And I kind of feel bad that that some of those bands weren't able to go and hit all of the different types of venues along the way, because I think it shows appreciation for each step, but especially if you do get yourself to an arena, then you kind of understand what it took to get there. And so yeah, I mean, I think that those shows in Florida in 2012 were huge for us. But I think that at the same time, that was like, we would go around that time and play. What's that venue? Something Turtle in Florida. Small
Oh
club.
gosh.
I can't remember the name of it, but it's there's
Was
probably 200 people that could fit in there. Yeah, I can't remember where it is, but I just remember that the name was something with Turtle.
That's not surprising for Florida. There's a lot of reptile venues and
Yeah.
so that show in 2012, you came back in 2015, probably after playing all those multiple different kinds of venues, and you headlined our show, which was then in 2015 at the amphitheater. As a fan and for us at the radio station, that felt so fast, that 3 years to go from like opener to headliner. Is there a moment in there where it felt intense for you, like where you were on stage somewhere and you were like, oh wow, it's happening, this is happening?
Well, yeah, I mean that year, 2000, kind of 2015 into 2016, when things were just, I mean, exponentially growing. The whole thing was kind of a whirlwind, and it starts to really kick in. I think when you're playing in other countries, and you're overseas, and there are people who love your music and resonate with the music, and it's just like, wow, this is there's something that it's amazing anywhere you go, but you can't go overseas, and then it's just like, oh man, there's a fully different speaking language country that's totally latched onto these songs and made them their own. And that's an interesting thing to grasp. And we're so far away from home. We've had to travel so far to get here, and these people, they love our songs. So there were a couple of those moments for me, being on stage in a different country, where it's just like, what is happening?
Well, I think that, I don't need to tell you this, but it's you have the most unique, passionate fan base. And I think we first noticed that, when you came through here for your first arena tour, we actually flipped our whole radio station for a day to Blurry Face Radio. We only played 21 Pilots for 24 hours leading up to your show.
Yeah.
And we did that because we knew our entire 97X listening audience would still be listening because they love you guys so much.
Wow. That's
And it was really cool. And that was one of the first times we noticed the lines outside your shows, people camping. We were bringing them breakfast.
That's
What
awesome.
would
Yeah.
What would you attribute that to? Like that connection you've not only made to your fans, but they've made to each other.
I don't know. I think it's I feel like I can really only speculate, but I really don't know. I think that I mean, Tyler and I are both just really proud of the community that has been built kind of around this. And just early on, I think when lines would start to form outside of a venue, just seeing a lot of stories of people just making great friends with each other and keeping up, and then traveling with each other to other shows and being a part of so many different things together, and people just looking out for each other during the show in the pit. I really don't know. It might be different for everybody. I think music is really powerful. I mean, it's you work that's your job as well. And it can really be life changing, and it can be therapeutic. And if a song or an album or a band hits you in the right spot in life, then that can be something that is life changing and can stick with you forever. Obviously sometimes there's a lifespan for a band or for an album where people are kind of like, that was this phase of life and this time period, and then move on. And that's pretty normal. I've got some bands that I've listened to since like early high school that still remain some of my favorite bands. And yeah, I don't know. Music is important.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but I do think it's also, you guys have something special together. It always comes off as such a genuine, fun friendship. I remember one of the times you came to the station, we did this whole thing where you were Spooky Jim and you were an intern.
Yeah, I was the DJ for the day.
Yeah, I mean, and it was such a fun thing for the people watching and so unique. And I think that genuine having a good time all the time like makes other people want to have a good time with you.
Yeah, I think so. It is interesting. I do think I've seen bands before. I've seen some bands that and it's crazy how you can kind of sort of tell what's going on stage, and you're like, you can just it's like the chemistry on stage. It's like, I can tell that these guys hate each other.
Yeah,
they get off stage and they don't talk to each other, and they don't get along. Or these guys are just they're fine. It's like they're making money and they're on tour, and like that it's a business thing. Or these guys are best friends. You can tell that that they just kind of like joke and laugh together. Yeah, that's cool that comes off. Tyler's one of my best friends, and we always have such a fun time when we're together in any capacity, whether it's on stage or in the studio or just at each other's houses hanging out. And I always do feel like those times where I can kind of tell when a band's on stage and they're really close friends. There is something about that kind of makes it a little bit more special.
Definitely. It definitely does. And I do just have to ask, since you were Spooky Jim, is there a connection with the name Jim in your life somehow? Because your dog that we all love is Jim now too.
Yeah. It's the name Jim. I mean, just go quick where that came from. I really, since I was a kid, I've never really enjoyed being told what to do. And that's just a personality thing for me. And so probably it might have been 2015, 2016, maybe around Halloween, changed my name to Spooky Josh because of it was an X-Files reference. And then around Christmas, all these people get on Twitter and change your name. It's Christmas time now. Change your name. And I'm like, I don't want to be told what to do. But so then I changed it to Spooky Jim at Christmas. And then I was like, there you go. I changed my name. They wanted it something festive and Christmassy. And so that's really where it started. And then became DJ Spooky Jim for your radio show. And then when we got a dog, my wife was like, he should be named Jim. And it was her idea. And I was like, that's really smart. So we'll name him Jim. And I can't imagine, he's actually here right now. And I can't imagine, like, I look at him and I'm like, he's nothing but a Jim. Like
Yeah.
that's who he is. I mean, come here.
Oh man. Oh,
That's just a Jim right there.
hi Jim. Who's a good boy? Oh, so cute. Well, I know you've got a lot going on today. So just to close, we're so excited to have you at the 97X Next Big Thing. This is our 20th anniversary show, so it only felt right to have you guys there. Is there anything you would say to your Tampa Bay fans? What can we be ready for?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, this radio show is amazing. And it really is. I look back on those with such, we were just trying to figure out the world of live music and what our career was going to look like. And I think that those kind of like festival settings were such a great kind of benchmark for us of kind of like what to expect and how to kind of like, how to navigate a show like that. And the fact that you all have been so accepting of us since truly the very beginning means a whole lot to us. And so it's going to be really fun to, in a sense, feel like we're home playing this show. And so we can't wait.
Definitely. You're always home at 97X. We're here for you, whatever you've got going on. And thank you so much again for playing our show. And we'll see you December 3rd.
Awesome. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Josh and Jim.